Aloha everyone, I'm Candace Neves. It's Fertile February and we are continuing our discussion on fertility. I've been sharing a lot of videos and information lately on Instagram and YouTube and all my platforms about fertility. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm so excited to share this video with you today. Today's video is all about how to embrace your radiant fertility and how to bring your creations to life in the world. So start by just saying, yes, I'm pregnant, if you're wondering. Big belly. I'm having either my second and third child. I'm just about 26 weeks along, and I don't know, this belly is a lot bigger than my first baby, so I'm not really sure what's happening in there. We don't do ultrasounds unless we absolutely need to. So we don't know if we're having twins or just one, but really grateful to be with child. It's been a long journey to get to this place of fertility for me. It took 7 years of trying actively to conceive before I was able to conceive and hold a healthy pregnancy with my daughter, Samaya, who's now almost 2. And the doctors told me that I would never conceive naturally. I had 2 blocked fallopian tubes. I dealt with fibroids and miscarriage and all kinds of imbalances in the womb space. And I proved them wrong. 4 months after I was told that, I conceived my daughter, and she came out perfect. We had a really awesome home birth, actually right here in this room. So I've been sharing some of my tips on holistic healing and natural methods of fertility. And for this video today, I'm really excited to share with you, not just because you're trying to conceive, but also because maybe you aren't trying to have a baby, but you want to bring your creativity to life. You want to access your own creative essence and start to do more creatively in your business or in your personal life, or just work with being a more creative person. So that's what we're talking about today. Whether you're wanting to conceive and birth a child or birth greater creativity in your business endeavors or your personal life, it's essential to open up and activate the energy of the womb. So I really love tuning into this energy from the perspective of the chakras. And we have 7 chakras, and these are energetic centers in our body that we can use to balance and find healing in the emotional, physical, and mental bodies. Our second chakra is the sacral chakra, and this governs the reproductive organs. It governs creativity, intimacy, sexuality, emotional well-being, and self-expression. So this chakra also corresponds to the lymphatic system and the circulatory systems. We've got the bladder, kidneys, the large intestines, and this is where we find our radiant womb, from which we birth all of our creations, both physical and non-physical, in the world. And the sacral chakra is called Svadhisthana, and I love this word so much. It's a Sanskrit word, and it translates to one's own place. So it refers to the true and untarnished aspects of the real you, like your most authentic self. And there's a color that goes with it, and that is the color orange, hence the orange top. And it stands for warmth and emotion. So someone who has a balanced second chakra radiates warmth and is able to speak openly about her emotions. So in order to experience the free-flowing energy that we want from this chakra, we have to be able to clear and cleanse this energy and bring it back into a state of balance. When the sacral is out of balance, a person may experience feelings of fear or depression. It can manifest as manic or emotional instability, feeling overwhelmed, a loss of imagination or creativity, sexual dysfunction or other reproductive issues, and sometimes even manifest as addiction. And then other physical symptoms that can indicate an imbalance in the sacral include pain, stiffness in the lower back and hips, sciatica, lower back pain, urinary and kidney problems, constipation, and pelvic pain. A balanced sacral, on the other hand, creates feelings of abundance and pleasure and creativity and joy, fulfillment, and just overall happiness and wellness. So, how do we heal the sacral chakra and invite in this greater experience of fertility and creativity in our lives? The first step, my tip number one, would be to acknowledge the fact that your sacral needs some love. I really believe that just the moment of saying, like, yes, something feels a little bit off here. Maybe you're feeling it physically, maybe you've been experiencing it emotionally in your life. Maybe your body is screaming at you and saying, hey, like, you're having heavy menses, or some kind of discomfort in this region, maybe indigestion. Just saying, yes, something is off and I'm ready to show myself greater love and support in this specific region is an invitation for great healing. And that can jumpstart the process just like that. Tip number two is connect with water. This is a really big one. The sacral corresponds to the element of water. So drinking lots of beautiful, purified, pure source water is really, really important. Not tap water. Tap water is junk in most places. And you're going to want to source water from a spring if there's one nearby, or drink water that's been bottled in a glass jar that came from a spring. Invest in a great filter if you don't have one already at home. It's important. And then you can add things to your water, like a little bit of Himalayan salt and some lemon to activate it and make it more hydrating, or some cucumber and orange slices, whatever you love. Electrolytes are really nice too. And I use colloidal trace minerals. I've been really enjoying that during my pregnancy. Anyways, stay hydrated, drink lots and lots of water, and nourish the element of water inside of yourself. Another way to connect with water, my favorite way, is to take baths. So draw yourself a nice, luxurious Epsom salt bath, add some orange essential oil to it, and do a little meditation, just focusing on your womb space and how excited you are to enhance your creative energy as you release and let go and shed what you no longer need. If it's an option for you, taking a swim in a natural body of water is a wonderful way to connect with water too. Jump in the ocean, take a dip in that icy cold river or stream, and enjoy, let the waters wash over you. Tip number three is eat centering foods. So when the sacral is a little out of whack, you might find yourself naturally craving foods that are going to help to bring it back into balance. And these foods will include things like nuts and seeds, sweet potato, carrots, melons, mangoes, butternut squash, pumpkin, oranges, fermented foods. Think of all the orange foods that come from the earth and add these into your diet. Number four is really important, and that is get your creative juices flowing. So do something creative. This might be well outside of your comfort zone, or maybe it's where you spend a lot of your time already. For me, it was so interesting. I grew up surrounded by creative people. I had my dad, who's a professional musician. He's the greatest musician I've ever known, Lonnie Jordan. Look him up. And my mom, who's an incredible artist. She makes this beautiful food, beautiful paintings, beautiful everything. She was always in her art and her creativity when I was growing up. And I had all these examples around me, but for whatever reason, I felt like I needed to leave the creative endeavors to the pros, and I needed to take care of the bills or the taxes, or do all the dishes, or like just take care of logistics. And perhaps it's the Virgo side of me or my left brain, I don't know. But when I turned 30 and I was in the middle of this journey of healing my sacral and opening up my creative center so that I could conceive, I got a loud, clear message that I needed to actually be more creative in my life and to let myself do the things that I had always wanted to do. So I actually always wanted to play music like my dad, and I dabbled a little bit, but not very much. And at 30 years old, I picked up the bass. I started playing with my husband, and we formed a band. I kind of joined a band that he had, and then we formed another band. And I started singing and freestyling and like playing with vocals, and I explored playing on a drum kit and percussion instruments of all kind, and just really allowed myself to enjoy making music, not for anyone else, but for my own happiness and my own joy. And I allowed myself to dance a lot more, and even like picked up things like drawing or sketching or just random things here and there, and more writing, which is something I've always loved to do. But exploring new forms of creativity helped me to heal this center more than anything else, I would say. So what can you do today? Maybe you've been wanting to do a painting. Go pick up those watercolors and just let yourself paint and see what comes from it. Maybe you sit down and do some writing, or explore what it's like to play with poetry. Maybe your creativity shows up in your cooking, and you make a new dish that you've never made before, and just really allow your intuitive self to guide you. But whatever that might be for you, find a way to express yourself creatively and see how that starts to open up and heal your womb space. So tip number 5 is do some hip opening movements. So our sacral chakra is located just below the hips, right? So we want to get movement into that area below the hips. And maybe that means you do some hip circles while standing, or some different yoga poses that are really supportive for opening the sacral, like goddess pose, for instance. It's actually the posture that I gave birth in. Really amazing. It's like a standing squat. They also call it horse stance, with your knees tracking out over your toes. And you can get into goddess pose. You can also take some of my yoga classes on opening the womb, which will give you some beautiful postures for opening the hips as well. Hip openers like pigeon pose, or frog pose is one of my favorites. But yeah, enjoying movement in the body, doing yoga is a really, really, really wonderful way to start to open up and release blocked energy or any tension that might be held unknowingly in the body, and to create more space for a radiant, creative experience. Tip number 6 is bring in the healing crystals. I am a big fan of working with crystals. And the crystals that are really supportive for healing the sacral include amber, we have coral, orange calcite, citrine. I love citrine, it's one of my favorites. Also carnelian. I used a lot of carnelian during my own sacral healing. So you can put your crystals right on your womb or right on your sacral center as you're doing your meditations, and just focus on opening up the area. Or you can just carry them around with you in your purse or your pocket throughout the day and soak up all the good vibes. Shout out to Ellie Keats, my dear sister and owner of Ellie Keats Jewelry in Santa Monica, California. She has an awesome website and an awesome jewelry location where you can pick out your crystals, and she sources everything with so much love and intention. And I highly recommend visiting her shop if you're in that area, or just checking out her stuff online. If you are looking to start to develop a relationship with some crystals and bring them into your own personal healing practice. Tip number 7, this one is huge and it's really important. Get a Mayan abdominal and womb massage. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the video that I shared all about it. It's entitled Natural Fertility Secrets, and it's one of my biggest tips. So this is actually a massage that's going to work this whole area from the outside and massage it and just allow it to open up. I have friends, in fact, actually the month before I got my first Mayan abdominal womb massage, I saw a friend of mine at the farmer's market, and she was so lit up. She was so excited, and she was not trying to get pregnant, but she did tell me that she had just gotten a Mayan abdominal womb massage, and her creativity was like off the charts, and she had been dancing and singing and just feeling so radiant, and she was just so lit up. And I was like, wow, it seems like it really worked out well for you. And I had that on my radar for a few years already, and I ended up having one the following month, and then I got pregnant a month and a half after that. And I really think that had a lot to do with it. So go watch that video so you can learn more about it and how to find out about where to get one in your area or how to learn more about it online. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's been really supportive and beneficial for you. I'm wondering how many of you have had experience with some of the things that I've talked about, or what you're excited to incorporate into your own healing. Will you let me know? Can you write it in the comments below the video, and send me your questions. Also, I'll address them in upcoming videos, or I'll respond to you directly. And yeah, blessings on your journey. I just wish you radiant health and happiness. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this journey that you're on right now. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to be notified when I post more videos. It's Fertile February, so I'm focusing on fertility all month. And we have yoga videos up. Go check them out if you haven't already. Visit my Instagram page at Yoga Girl Hawaii and send me your messages, send me your questions, comments, and let me know how your journey has been. Sending you so much love and aloha from Hawaii.